Hi, welcome to my review of The Big Short, directed by Adam McKay, a biographical dramedy based on the great financial crisis of 2007 that was backboned by excessive grants of high-risk subprime mortgages that peaked in 2004, a crash all too few saw coming. One of which was a hedge fund manager, Michael Burry, who played the odds in his favor by betting against the housing market, a bold act that then influenced others of the high finance world to take advantage of the downfall that had become inevitable. So The Big Short is directed by Adam McKay, who you might know for directing such films as Talladega Nights, The Other Guys, Anchorman, as well as Step Brothers. And out of all of those, I would say that I like Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. I think those films are pretty funny. And The Big Short is adapted from a Michael Lewis novel, who has also written novels such as The Blind Side and Moneyball. Haven't read any of them, but as far as movies go, I've never been a big fan of The Blind Side, and then you have Moneyball, which I do think is great. But as for The Big Short, in comparison to Adam McKay's past work, this is a very different film. Granted, it is still a comedy, but in comparison to just the overall intelligence of his past films, this is like night and day. Of course, again, this is adapted from Michael Lewis's work, so you can only expect such intricacies. This is an incredibly complex film and can be difficult to follow if you're somebody who is not all too familiar with economics and how everything works within that world. Good news is that this film doesn't expect you to, because let's face it, most people, such as myself, don't know that much about economics. I don't consider myself to be a stupid person, but holy shit, this movie made me feel dumb. Here and there throughout, the film puts things into layman's terms, most notably by text appearing on screen, celebrity cameos, or by characters breaking the fourth wall. But what really makes this film so engaging is that it's actually entertaining. It's funny. It's self-aware. It knows that its subject matter is not the most entertaining thing in the world. It's a lot of numbers and it's a lot of obscure terminology. That is the world of finance. It's convoluted for a reason. And that's something I knew before the film told me so. The Big Short is really kind of like attending a college lecture, but by a professor who loves the subject or knows how to make it fun at least. Even by the end of the lecture, or in this case the movie, you may still come out a little confused, and I think that's perfectly okay because I feel like in some ways you're supposed to feel that way. The movie wants you to do your homework by reading the book. So in other words, do your homework by going to the internet. We have a world of information at our fingertips. The movie is asking us to learn how to teach ourselves so that this sort of thing doesn't happen again in the future. And outside of the Selena Gomez cameo, which I thought was maybe a little too much, I don't feel like the film was ever pointing the finger or talking down to the audience. And speaking of celebrities, what I found to be really cool was this montage towards the beginning of the film, and it's played to this ludicrous song. And it's a montage of all these celebrities, pop culture, basically trivial shit. The one time it shows anything of importance, it gets drowned out by the song, and I thought that was pretty clever. And it's just little touches like that I found to be very unique about the film. As far as performances, they're all pretty fantastic, especially Christian Bale, who plays Michael Burry, and he plays him as if he has Asperger's. I actually read somewhere that Michael Burry's son has Asperger's, and he believes himself to have Asperger's. I don't know if he was ever properly diagnosed, but that's how Christian Bale plays him in the film. He gives one of the stand-up performances for 2015, and then you have Steve Carell, who may have just given his best performance that I've ever seen him do. And what I like about the characters here is that the film does attempt to give them backstories, tries to flesh them out, make you sort of look at them as human beings. Overall, The Big Short is quite an eye-opener. It will piss you off as well as make you laugh. And for those of you who may be a little intimidated by the complexity of the film, I would only say don't be. It's not that hard to follow as a whole. It's just the specifics and the why that might be slightly obscured. So with that said, I'm going to give The Big Short a very, very strong 4 out of 5. If you're somebody who has seen The Big Short, then do let me know your thoughts on it. And as always, I'm Colin Kirkland, and thank you so much for watching.